Out to Dunnet's Head. It's raining quite hard. Nobody's bothered. If it had to rain on a day, this is the best day, because it's a nice easy rest day. We haven't got many miles to crunch today, so it'll be a nice day off for everybody. But as you can see, the weather is not the best at the moment, but nobody's bothered. They're a tough lot. Land along the top, no trees. The wind has removed them over time. Very, very barren. And you can see where there's been fires. They've had fires up here that's removed the electric overhead lines. A lot of this area is running on generator at the moment. There's next to no internet, if you're lucky, and no services for phones. But they're pretty much cut off at the moment, the residents up here. It's still a beautiful route along here, even though it's barren. You can still see it through your visor, as misty and as wet as it is. I'm warm, I'm dry, I'm sure the others are. We're not going mad because of the conditions, we're just taking it easy. It's still a joy to be out today on a bike, which might sound absurd, but I think everybody'd agree I'm right. You can see the sea in the distance. Yeah, it's just a little bit of a respite. It's only drizzling along here now. Very flat, very open. We're now only 20 miles from Dunnet Head, Robert, and the next junction 7.5, mate. See the old wind turbines to the left? Yeah. I bet they go round all the time up here. Robert was just saying he can feel that his bike's being blown from the side. I can hear the wind now, it's a lot more. It's due to get up later this afternoon to nearly gale force. It'll be very interesting to see what happens, but it might blow all this bad weather away and we might have the benefit of tomorrow, this lot gone. So I'm going to keep everything crossed for tomorrow. I'm sure everybody else is. Bad weather going round in a complete circle. This bit is not raining, but you can see that the clouds are very, very low. I think anywhere we go out from this centre we're going to hit rain, but most bizarre. Looking at the radar pattern, that's how it is, like a Catherine wheel right round us. Yeah, Dunnet Head. Robert's shouting, he can see it, he can see it. Furthest part north in the whole British Isles. And you can see it sticking right out in front of us. And that's where we're going. Was John O'Groats is not the most northerly part of this Isles. In the distance over there, being in the centre of this weather pattern, you can actually see a bit of light on the coast over there. On the sand, it's lovely. Weather in the middle of this weather pattern where it's going to absolutely drop later. I think you're going to have to be a weatherman, mate. That fish was no good. I reckon there's an opening there somewhere that you can see all white yellowy grass. If you walk through it, it's like you're walking through porcupine needles. It sticks through your jeans and it's like points. The stuff is as tough as tough. Those cows up here, those Highland cows or cattle, they must have some bloody tough teeth to survive. They got bloody great horns, but they must have bloody great teeth as well. The weather today, I know that sounds absurd, but it's raw. This is the weather that they must experience up here all the time. It isn't sunny all the time, it is raw. The wind is blowing, you can perhaps hear it on the comms, or unless it's being cancelled out. But this is what they experience all the time. People are so courteous around here, we've been very lucky too. I don't know if you can hear the wind, it's ripping across here. Fancy buying it out here, do you? Long way from civilization, mate. You can't see your wife going for that, okay. We go up on this long, thin headland that is the most northerly point. Very, very barren. Wind. Yeah, I hope what you've just said comes across on the comms. It's absolutely true. You're out on the elements when you're on two bikes, it's entirely true. Yeah. And the temperature, I think, in the last couple of minutes has dropped massively. I suddenly feel cold, do you? Yeah, it's suddenly got very cold on this bit where the wind's coming straight across, and look, nothing much is growing at all up this part. Very, very barren up here, isn't it? The wind is virtually horizontal, isn't it? It is, isn't it? Very, very windy. I don't know if you can hear the wind noise, but my God. I can hear it, yeah. I wonder if the Sena cancels it or at a certain frequency, but we can hear it. It's pretty real, isn't it? Pointed out, over the end there, on the end of John O'Groats, is the Orkney Islands. I don't know if you can quite pick that up. I bet that water is bloody cold. In fact, it's raw up here, isn't it? If we didn't have all this waterproof stuff on, my goodness me, wouldn't that be what have you? You know, we've been so lucky. This is about the only time we've been stuck behind these campers, isn't it? Is that you revving, Mr. Ramsey? Oh, I thought it might be. Oh, these roads are to die for, aren't they? Most northerly part, and we're here. I'll let him come out.
There it is. Oh.
They look cold. I'm not surprised up here. You don't get much more northerly than this, mate. Parking for all of us? Yeah, I can see some over the front. Yeah. I might go round the front.
We're all going to have to take our time to get a photo shoot.
You don't get more north than this. Well, I think I'll have a wander around, you know. Sean's doing his normal photography bit. Love it. He's had pictures of nearly everywhere we've gone with his bike in it. And fair play to the chap. I'm going to have a stroll down the end. See you in a bit. More north than this. This is as north as you get. this. Such a privilege, yeah, and such an adventure it really has from start to finish. And I know that everybody feels the same. It's an accomplishment. It's not something you can do lightly. It really isn't something you can do lightly. Most people's wrists are starting to get tired and hurting and aching. There's a lot of work goes into riding a bike this far. Yeah. Well, it was brilliant to go up there, and to face it in these conditions is how I will always remember it, as I'm sure the majority of the time this is how it is. To say that the wind and the cold wind nearly cut you in half, it was just fantastic. My wife likes the sun. She likes sitting out in the garden and enjoying the good weather, or going south. If I asked her to move up here in this desolate corner, I think she'd probably put toadstools in my food, because I don't think she'd enjoy this end of the country one little bit. And these are hard, tough people to live up here, because you wouldn't have a holiday home up here, trust me. We're now at John O'Groats. How marvellous is this? Everybody's having their picture taken, no end of fun, everybody's having a laugh. That's the ferry across to the Orkneys, which is in front of us there. Huge achievement, that's what it feels like. We all drove our bikes up onto the shingle as you do. Probably not supposed to. Desolate, that's the word. Look at the socket out, nearly horizontal. Look at the water, it's blowing a gale. Exactly how I can imagine it normally is. I was a bit choppy on that old ferry. My wife would like that. No. I see it down there. Now this is what you call Scottish weather, and we've had so little of it. Blessed, absolutely blessed. We've left John O'Groats, we're on our way now to Wick. There's an old ruin down by the sea. Very bleak, not the place to have a holiday home. Everything here is a ruin. The wind is howling across here. Look at that place on the left, that like old haunted mansion, Robert. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it looks a proper Addams Family job, doesn't it? Yeah, good old lurch. We've just had a lovely meal in Wicker's World. Served us well, and we're on the way now up to Bower Wigwams. This is a rest day. It's a bit of a jolly for us after all the mole munching we've done, and hopefully we'll get there not too wet, which is all good. They've got drying rooms at Bower Wigwams, so I think some of the gear will go in there. Fantastic. In the Bower Wigwams, 5-star, that's how I rate them. Fantastic. What a location. And outside, the sheep just been born, a couple of lambs. What a nice setting for us to stop over at. We're 13 miles from John O'Groats, and we're on our way to Inverness today. There's rain coming in. We hopefully put some miles between it and us, so as we start to go south we should encompass better weather. But how nice a place is this. What a lovely overnight stop. Just outside Wick. Wigwams. The farmer was up before 5 with the lambs, getting them born and helping out. She's there with her binoculars, keeping an eye on them all. 8 o'clock was the next one born. This is the most inhospitable region of our Isles, and you can see it in its warts and all what they have to put up with on a day-by-day basis up here. And then we're heading back towards the south, which they call the Riviera. Compared to here, it is. There was also a cow born this morning on the farm. That's their work, goes on whatever the weather, 24/7. Personally, with all the wind and the rain in this corner, I'll be quite happy to move on.
There's also a calf born 6:30 this morning.
6:30 was it born?
This morning.
Yeah.